What's going on? Play Game here, back with another Epic 7 video, and today we're going over the update for January 5th in Epic 7, starting with the Indomitable season. So this is the new arena season, and you know what happens when we get a new arena season. We get new frames and we get some new arena gear. And so this arena gear is speed gear. Believe it or not, it is level 88 speed gear here, and it looks pretty similar to the OG arena speed gear that they gave us way back in the day. So because it is speed gear, it's going to be 100% worth to pick it up. I think for the most part, all the gear here is pretty decent. I mean, you've got effect res where you don't want effect res, of course, and effectiveness where you don't want effectiveness, but that's usually how things go, right? And so if I remember correctly, when we got the original speed arena gear, they had like one very, very good piece, and that was the helm. And so it looks like they kept the same subs for this. They just made it 88 gear, right? And so the helm here has health, defense, speed, and effect res. So this helm is perfect for any soul weaver, right? Any support that wants a lot of HP, maybe a little bit of speed if you get some speed rolls in there. I know it's starting off at 5 base speed, okay? 5 base speed. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be people out there that roll, you know, penta speed on these. So that's why they're also worth, because you're starting at that 5 speed on a speed set. So you get an insane amount of value out of these. The boots, you know, they're speed boots, speed on speed, but you got attack, crit chance, crit damage, and effect res. I would have been fine if it was effectiveness, right? I mean, but effect res on this type of boot is pretty much useless, right? Unless you're going to put this on someone that already maybe has some effect res built into their kit. But even then, you want usually something like effectiveness, even HP, defense, right? Something that's usable. But maybe you get lucky and you don't hit the effect res. You can always swap that out with the gem. The necklace here, it's a speed health necklace. You got speed, crit chance, effect res, and defense. So this can go full support if you roll speed, effect res, defense. If you get some crit chance rolls and some effect res rolls, it's probably going to be a feels bet, right? The ring here, it's a speed attack ring, but no damage subs. So I'm not sure what they were thinking here, because they gave you HP, defense, speed, and effectiveness for the subs. So maybe you don't go like full DPS, right, for this ring. Maybe it's like a support. Maybe you get a lot of speed out of this. Maybe like a Caesarea, right? You can even probably throw this on like a Senya, especially since her banner is getting a rerun pretty soon. So moving on, we do have Double D Ray, Death Dealer Ray. We were able to get a closer look at him, and I wish I could like his kit more, because he looks pretty cool. But I feel like it's kind of all over the place. I don't think that he's gonna be usable as is, especially because he has to do quite a bit before he can get his S3 off. So I think that if we pull, we just do a few pulls here and there just to see if we can get him, because they're gonna buff him, right? I think he is gonna be very difficult to use. So they are gonna buff him like Astromancer, Elena. And so it does feel bad to just have to pull a unit so that they buff him, right? Because when they buff him, they can make him broken. And if you really care about PvP, you're probably going to pull for him anyways, just because of that. But I don't know. I think I'm going to do a few pulls, but if we don't get him, I'm probably going to pass on him. I don't really like his kit too much. But, you know, if he's husbando for you, you know, feel free to go for it. Like I said, they're probably going to buff him in the upcoming patches if he doesn't do well. But moving on, we got specialty change Shepard Jena. So she is getting a specialty change, and we kind of saw this coming, right? They buffed her base form, Jena's form, in the last patch update that we had for the balance, right? It was either last or the one before the last. And they kind of snuck in some things into her kit. And so they gave her quite a bit of changes. And so we could all see she was probably going to get a specialty change. And so here it is. You know, she is a mage, so she does get that speed buff right now in RTA. I'm not too sure if she's going to be too usable though. But, you know, we got to wait and see her numbers, right? She looks to be like a unit that's going to help you blow through like heavy mitigation, right? Like try to get through the tank meta that is right now, right? Like Arrowell, Destina, units that are going to be inherently very tanky. You got this special Frostbite debuff, which cannot be subject to any damage reduction or damage sharing effects. So allows you to almost do full amounts of damage, right? So you're kind of bypassing damage reduction or damage sharing effects, right? Like Aureus or like Arrowell's special buff, right? And you know, I think that's potentially good, right? It could be really good, but I guess we got to wait and see. We'll probably do like a deeper dive video, just looking at everything that they've given her, what they've changed, and see if she's really going to be worth it. But moving on, we got week 2 of the Fairy Tale for a Snowy Day. So this is a rerun side story. So for these, you're just going to farm as usual. You do get some buffed artifacts. So if you do have those, slap them onto your units, Wings of Light, Glow Wings, the Nostalgic Music Box. If you have those, slap them on your units when you're farming, so you can get some extra currency, because you're going to need the currency. And the reason you're going to need the currency is for the Aramika village. And so that village there, you're going to be building these specific little houses. And so the houses give you a certain reward, and then you're going to want to make sure that you have all of those built, so that you can start exchanging your resources for those rewards. So it's something that I believe is time gated. So eventually, when you do have all of the materials to be able to build everything, you're going to want to get the premium rewards. So make sure that you're on the lookout for those. But moving on, you do have that catalyst shop. Make sure you pick up everything that's in the shop. You'll also be able to pick up some gear from those buildings once you finish them all out. And we're going to be having 2 drop rate ups. So starting on the 5th, we're having Illynav and Elena, 2 units that you can 100% pass on. Illynav, you know, I think this is the next unit that people have been calling for buffs on. So we'll see, maybe she'll get some buffs on the next go around. You know, right now, I don't think we have any really like viable fire bruisers other than what, like Edward, but he's more like kind of like anti-cleave debuff, like heavy debuffs, right? So maybe they can buff her to push her into this meta. You know, she is a very tanky unit that can potentially deal a lot of damage. So interested to see if they buff her or not. Elena, she's full anti-cleave, right? She's full anti-cleave, but whales are going to wail for Astromancer Elena imprints, right? Now that she has some buffs, Astromancer Elena, I think, is pretty good. So buffs or imprints for Astromancer Elena, I'm sure will be pretty good. But 2 units that you can 100% pass on and just save after those 4 limited back-to-back units. It's been rough, right? They're adding adventures in a winter wonderland to the Book of Memories. So if you do have an inclination to go in and see the winter wonderland side story, you can either go in and buy it or use it if you have that little token that they gave away for free, I believe. Moving on, we do have some episode and side story improvements, mainly unrecorded history improvements. So they are taking unrecorded history as is now 16 chapters, 230 stages, and condensing them all into 1 chapter side story with only 34 stages. So yes, now It's going to be a lot easier to find what you need to find because there's not 230 stages. So I think this is fine. I'm happy for this improvement. They mentioned that this is slated for the 20th or the 19th of January. So hopefully this is the start of a really good new year in Epic 7. But that's going to be it for me. Let me know your thoughts about this week's update. Are you going to be pulling for Death Dealer Ray? What are your thoughts on the new specialty change? I'm really interested in potentially getting this speed set and rolling all effect res, right? But like always, if you haven't enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hey, think about subscribing. It helps the channel grow and reach more people like you who like content like this. Like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.